That's really far down the road. But basically, having a robot that or a brain that has common sense. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Is having it actually have true common sense. Like make it sort of figure that stuff out. That would be
that's hard to do because you still, at least right now, you still have to set that to the way that it thinks.
Right. So what if you start writing?
Nope, it works out faster.
You set the base rules and then it just starts building on its own.
Right,
It's like the iRobot where they have the three
It should be.
rules, and then they go off those three rules and then they look at
Sorry, man.
You mind going over that one?
I think it's hard,
I'm
but
working
it's possible.
through all the solutions.
Okay.
I'm trying my best. It's,
Okay.
today has been,
Hectic.
it's ranged from disastrous to borderline
It's just
suicide,
been
so it's been a day.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. But
I wanna be a
I
part of
will
that.
try to get to them, even if I have to stay here till midnight, I will get them all. Which I have a feeling I'll probably end up doing. What's that?
Dedication.
Something like that, or stupidity, one of the two.
Because you guys are not very far apart.
Yeah, I know, I realize. There's a lot of times, I'm here till 10 at night, I get here at like 7 in the morning.
When we get there, that'll be something we think about. I'm gonna try to deal with it.
Oh, okay, just the little line. Talk about.
That's the thing, that's what the movement stuff, but how far can you really go? Because
This is perfect right here. Yeah.
Did you finally read it first?
Yeah, I read it. Oh, well, it happens.
you're like overloaded. And here's like, you got these sentences. He's not decustomized. Think about the next
This is actually quite mine, because I use hollow pressure when I write.
Once it gets low, it starts getting bold, like everybody gets
You're right.
and then like rotating the pencil to make the edge like flat and then take it out.
So I got a whole year of 25 and trying to just write. Almost a second later, this is real.
Yeah, that was me every single class.
I think that's what I was like 25 and like writing lighter.
These are minutes from the festival and some of the classes. No partnership. I like showing off those things. It's like the way he teaches is actually maybe we should do it like that. Did you ever take Chris?
Okay guys, so I think what we have to do today, we had one problem that we didn't get to last time with multiple quantifiers, correct? So we're going to finish that up. And then I wanted to spend the rest of the time talking about universal mode exponents and then the tolons and then diagrams as well. And then also reviewing for our examination, which is going to be on Wednesday, okay? I may have posted this on Blackboard, I'm fairly certain I did, but just in case you guys didn't see it. I think I said that Wednesday's the exam, and then assignment number 3 is due the following Monday. Is that correct? Just to make sure. Okay. So assignment 3 will we do on Monday, whatever that date is. Who knows? I guess it would be 19 plus 7 is 26. So Monday, September 26. Okay. If you guys want to work on it beforehand, that's fine. Okay, because those types of problems will be on the examination, but I won't require you guys to submit it until then. Okay? Alright, so any questions before we get started, guys? Okay. Yes, sir.
We're allowed to have a no part.
Yeah, I'll explain that when we go through and review for the examination. But in case I forget, remind me so that way I let you know. Okay? Alright, other questions, guys, before we get started? Okay. So last time, I'm pretty sure we went through, we did a couple multiple quantifiers, but we didn't get through all of them. So I want to finish up this part. And I know on your paper it says write it in a sentence and in a sentence, okay? So typo. So if you guys would change that to write each of the statements in a sentence and symbolically, so that we get a flavor of making sure we can do those both. Okay? So the first one, let's just do that one. Let's do them symbolically first, and then we can go through and we can write out what they actually mean. I guess in some sort of sentence. Okay? So. Somebody remind me, what's the process that I would utilize to take the negation of something like this? And you might have to go back and look through like that definition that we had prior, but it's sort of the same thing as what we would do if it's just like a singular, not a multiple quantifier. So, does anyone remember like the process for that? So,
I believe correctly, you change your all for every to there exists,
Perfect.
and then replace the comma with such that, and then with the where there exists, you change that to every,
Perfect.
and then such that to a comma.
And then what do we do with the last part of the predicate
Is
there?
it not Q?
You take the negation of that. Very nice. Guys, I think he said it very eloquently. Okay? You just basically flip your quantifiers, commas go to such that goes to comma, and you take the negation of the predicate at the end there. Okay? So, let's say we were to write number 1 symbolically. Okay? We would say, there exists x in I, comma goes to such that, the there exists goes to for all y in I, the such that goes to comma, and then all I'm going to do is just take the negation of that last part. Instead of xy in Q, xy not in Q. Okay. Xy not in Q. Okay, nice. We can do the exact same thing with the second one. Okay. So I'm just going to write the symbolically first, because that's the easy part, I think. Okay. Instead of there exists x in R, we can say for all x in R, instead of such that, comma. Okay. And then, instead of for all, there exists y in Q, instead of comma, such that, and then instead of xy in Z, xy not in Z. Okay, so let me give you guys a second to copy that down. Okay, but that's easy, right, guys? If you saw that on your guys' examination, you guys know, flip the quantifiers, flip the commas and such that. That's easy stuff. Okay. All right. Now, what might be not as easy is being able to write those in sentences, okay? And that's what we have to remember. What are the different sets and that sort of thing. And remember, we want to eliminate any variables as well, okay? So we shouldn't be using like any x's, y's, or elements of and all that stuff, okay? So, let's just start with this guy here, okay? So, obviously this means that there exists, okay, I already said that. So we can say there exists, and instead of x in I, okay, what can we say instead of x in I? Some irrational number, right guys? So there exists some irrational number, Nice.
Would some have to be?
I'm sorry, not irrational, oh yeah, it is irrational,
Some
go ahead. So,
Would
would
some
some
have
have
to
to?
be a key word, or could you put like, there exists any rational?
That's correct, you could say some, any, at least one, something like that. Okay, so there exists some irrational number such that, obviously, for all, so there exists some irrational number such that for all what? For all other irrational numbers, okay? Or we could just say for all rational numbers, right? Because it could be the same number, or it could be a different number, okay? So that, such that for all, and we don't have to put other, but for all irrational numbers, okay? And then, how will we finish this thing off?
Just saying the product.
The product of those numbers, good. So the product of those numbers, nice. And then, what's the last part of that?
Does not exist in Q.
Or does not exist in, not just Q, but we have to say, like, what Q means.
Rational.
Rational. So we can say basically is not rational. Okay, good. So such that the product of those numbers is not rational. Or we could just say irrational. Okay. That's not the only way to say that, that's one way. Alright, by the way guys, remember that only the original or the negation